Sally, what do you think? We worked really hard to get her ready.
This house is unsafe for a child.
Who are you?
A young girl inadvertently unleashes a race of ancient monsters while exploring her father's 19th century mansion. Hello there everyone in the audience of the online world. I'm film critic Nick Iacobucci for the website RealScreenReviews.com, and our next movie review is Don't Be Afraid of the Dark. This suspense thriller and remake opened around the nation on Friday, August 26, 2011, and it stars Katie Holmes, Guy Pearce, and Bailee Madison. This film comes to us from director Troy Nixey, the writer, producer, director of the short Latchkey's Lament. He now receives a modest budget with quality talent to see if he can handle the reins of a Hollywood ghost story, as well as being able to entertain the masses. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark centers around a young girl named Sally that has discovered a secret underground crypt of creatures and spirits in her father's extensive mansion. After unintentionally disturbing what has lain dormant for many, many decades, she must now do her best to keep this new terror from the rest of her unsuspecting family. Sally tries to convince both her father and Kim of the existence of this horror, but it's almost futile until it seems to be too late. Based on the 1973 European TV movie of the same name, and adapted by the talent the likes of Guillermo del Toro and Matthew Robbins, I was hoping that this duo could turn what could be a normal and forgettable feature into something memorable. Well, people, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark isn't a great film, and it isn't a terrible film. The problem with this feature is that it just slowly runs out of gas as each minute of the film progresses. The more I got to know the creatures, the less interested I became with them. Now, granted, if you were running for your life away from these things, they would probably scare the bejesus out of you, but in the sanctuary of the multiplex, they really just became annoying. The first half of the project attains many thrills and chills, but the filmmakers cannot consistently achieve this throughout the middle or through the finale. It just could have been scarier for me, people, and I wish that they could have told more of a story in general. You have the mystery surrounding this really cool house and these menacing creatures, but nothing is explored in either of these directions throughout the entire running time. Don't get me wrong, this is not all bad by any means. I have never disliked Katie Holmes as an actor, and I can easily say that she holds her own throughout each moment. Her Kim is always more wise than our father of the story, and her scenes with young Bailee Madison are also solid work indeed. Bailee Madison has been seen in the previous films such as Just Go With It and Bridge to Terabithia, and you can look out for this young lady because she definitely has a future as an actress. However, some parts of Don't Be Afraid of the Dark didn't just come in as hokey, it was out and out laughable. There is a scene in the film where the young girl is under the table at a dinner party, and by the time that scene ends, she's destroyed dinner and half of the house. This sequence of events went on much too long, to the point of you actually sitting back and saying, "Ah, come on." Even the row two in front of me started laughing at this point in the movie. Then Guy Pearce could possibly get the award for the all-time bonehead movie father. I haven't seen a more ignorant parent in a film since Matt McCoy in the 90s classic The Hand That Rocks the Cradle. If there is a bad decision to be made, then by all means he is going to make it. Now, unlike the recent Fright Night, which grabbed a hold of you and just didn't let go, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark lost a lot as it played out. At 100 minutes, I have no complaints about the running time or the acting performance. It solely rests on the lacking of a credible villain. Because of that, the film needed more tension, more jumps, and most of all, more scares. At one point, it's like I was watching the evil gray imitation of the Smurfs. What can I say? The movie looks good and has a creepy feel to it. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark starts with a truly great beginning and finishes with a realistic ending, but it was that middle 90 minutes that was getting to me here and there. This movie is credible, but it falls into the trap that so many other movies fall into regardless of whether or not they are a horror film. The ending to this movie is just plain weak and brings the entire project down on a whole. However, if you are looking for some cheap thrills and some even cheaper scares, then Don't Be Afraid of the Dark might be just for you. For me, I'm still torn between 2 and 2.5 stars, and maybe I'm just in a good mood, but I'm going to give this 2.5 stars out of 4. And remember, people, I'm not always right, but only when it comes to the movies, and thank you very much for your attention.
Don't tell me you believe this.
Just because you keep denying it does not mean it's not happening.
afraid of the dark.